right. There we go. Oh, nice.
This was a photo I took
That's really nice.
on a trip just to see a bunch of ghost towns in Nevada and Arizona.
Mhm.
And this was just the side of the road. I like the mountains in the background.
Yeah.
The sky was really bland. So I went into, and I took this like maybe noonish. I went into Neo. First, I went into Photoshop to change the sky, and I didn't like any of them.
Uh-huh.
And then I went into Neo and tried that. It was the first time I tried it. And I did a kind of a sunset,
Mhm.
kind of a sky. And I liked that Neo, you had a lot of flexibility with the direction of the sky.
Yes.
And that was
And-
kind of
and
fun to
positioning.
play around with. Where Photoshop, you can just go up or down, sideways. This, you can actually kind of change the angle of the sky a little bit, which I did.
Yeah.
And I thought it turned out okay.
Mhm. I imagine in Photoshop, you could just go to the layer that the image is on and transform it and get what you want to.
True, but I had never thought of doing that before until I saw it done in Neo.
But you need to disconnect, where that chain link is, so the mask doesn't rotate with it.
Oh,
If it's got a mask on that channel, that would be
that's true.
the only additional thing you need to do. The other nice thing I like is if rather than just giving you some color corrections like Photoshop does, it actually gives you sliders that say, bring some of the color into the foreground, and I can't remember what the names are, but basically you can balance the environment to the sky a bit.
It kind of did it's by itself as well.
Yeah, it gives you a point where it thinks it's supposed to be, and then you can tweak it from there.
I didn't tweak it. I thought it did a pretty good job because this was pretty bright.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
it really
It looks
dulled it and gave it a warmer color.
Mhm. Yeah, nice. I like the horizontal format too.
Yeah, that looks really good.
It really,
I cropped quite a bit of the top off and a little bit of the bottom because you could see the edge of the road at the bottom. And I cropped that off. So it is kind of gives you more of a panoramic feel.
yeah, it kind of reiterates the spaces between the posts and the slats there. It's almost the same format.
I had to go in and clean up a little bit in there because you could see there's some paneling on the inside of the cattle like corral area there. And you could see the green from the panels. So I took that out, and there was some green around the front here and there of stuff. And so I took it out.
Yeah, I'm seeing a little lightness in here that may not have gotten in there either, but
That came from the sky bleeding through. Yeah, I played around with that a little bit because it really bled through to the right, but I kind of liked it there where it kind of gave a rusty look.
Yeah, here it kind of gives you that almost fade away fog that you get at sunset. There's let me see here.
Something in there.
Yeah, I guess we could try and replace the sky in Neo and see what happens. I don't think it starts up the first time. We might have to do this twice, but I just got an update. It works good. Okay, so if we go to edit, they also added some extensions if you guys are subscribing to them.
Yeah.
But down here in creative, you got sky. Okay, so let's just pick another sky. I don't know, something like that, I guess. It's gonna let me. Yeah, there we go. Just took a while. Okay, so after you have that, we already talked about the fact that you can move it around and flip it. But there's this mask refinement, and that's where you go in and you've got closed gaps and fixed details. And if you fool around
wow.
see, that's where you get the
Mhm.
that sort of stuff.
Perfect. Well, thank you for that. I didn't realize that was there. It's the first time I'd used the sky replacement
Mhm.
in Neo.
That's pretty cool.
That is very
Yeah, it
cool.
still looks like it's doing some things in here.
That's why I ended up pulling it down a little bit. The whole sky down.
Well, here it is. Yeah, the global takes most of that away.
But then you've got some funky stuff going on the mountains.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to fix it.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's taking away all the detail. All right, so we take the global way down. All right, I was going the wrong way. I thought these light areas were there. Let's see. Fix detail. Go all the way up. Back it down a bit. Yeah, see, if you,
That's a little better. Yeah.
yeah. See, that would have blend with what was behind it. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so you got those closed gaps, and then the scenery lighting is what it does on its own, but you can tweak that. So you've got the
Wow.
alternate way.
That's really good to know.
Yeah, and then you've got saturation, and you also got, if you have a person in there, you can do them separately. And if there's a reflection, like in the water, they add it as
Mhm.
well. And then you've got an adjustment on the sky itself where you can make it softer or add some haze. If you like that haze feel, you can warm it up.
That seems to be affecting the foreground.
Well, what happens is everything blurs until you let go and then it refreshes.
Oh, okay.
That's something I don't like, but that's just the way the program works. And then you have brightness as well. If you want to brighten it up.
Nice.
So you got all that stuff to play with.
Yeah, well, thank you. I had no idea.
Then in addition to that, there's this thing called relight that might come in handy. It's up here, okay. And usually to figure out what's happening, you've got brightness and brightness far, and then depth, and then there's some advanced settings, fix halos, and you warm up nearer, warm or cool the nearer or far. So usually what I'll do is I'll take the far way down and let it do its thing till it figures out where it is. All that work pretty quick. If you're on a big file, it might take a while. Now you see it seems to be breaking around the fence. If you take the depth and move it, it'll show you. See that dark line?
Wow.
Shows you where far is, so you can tweak that. You know, maybe you want it above the fence line, so now it's up here. Now you can maybe brighten this near up a little bit. But I would probably make it go the other way, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, in this case, maybe brighten up far a little bit. But and then here's a little eyeball to see how it affects things.
Wow.
Yeah, so that gives you some nice stuff, and
Yeah.
it has masking ability too. So
Mm-hmm.
when you turn any of these tools off now, and you go to turn them on again, it gives you another one. The one you were working on goes as in this edit panel, so you can see it's still here.
Mm-hmm.
Guy we put in, that's here too. See,
Wow.
so if you're in tools and you're back in Relight, that's a new one. So you can kind of
Oh.
go and just
You have a history. It keeps an edit history for you.
yeah, but it makes them actually modules where you can play around. The only thing I don't like is if you have a bunch of them and you go down to the first one, it takes everything else away. So you can't see how that particular one works.
Oh.
The rest above it, you got to kind of guess. Click up here after you down here or down here. So that's the only thing I don't like. Now, since we switched over, I think it probably added another relight. Yeah, it did. So I'll just work on it here. So let's just say we wanted to do something like this. And then we want to play just maybe at the fence and above. And then you get yourself a mask, and with a brush, you can just put it in where you want it. Maybe I just want it across here. Okay. So doesn't seem to be doing much. Oh yeah, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, you know, like in the mountains, you can go back to your masking and
Mm-hmm.
get yourself a brush and hit erase, you know, and just see what that do there. Let's see if that took or not. Show the mask. No, it did not. There we go. Okay. If you hit the / key, it'll bring up the mask so you can see it.
Oh, good to know.
You can also do it, but you gotta, that's the other thing I don't like. It'd be nice if there was a panel down here with the mask actions, even when you're in the brush, but it's not. And that you can show it here, show and hide here, but I'd prefer to see it while I'm painting. So,
Mhm.
so if you just use the / which is, you know, the / key,
Mhm.
do it there. And then if you want to go between positive and negative, you just use the X like you do in Photoshop with black and white, you know, foreground, background.
Mhm.
So those are the two keys that I think come in very handy. The / key gives you a before and after. That's another one.
Oh,
So anyway,
very nice. Thank you.
yeah.
I learned a lot.
Mhm.
Good.
This was just a fun photo I took of a Jeep at this particular place in Nevada that has a huge collection of old cars and trucks and vehicles.
So that's an
And
old
I,
Willis.
yeah, I think it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's got the W on it. I darkened the green quite a bit and warmed up the yellow.
Mhm.
Only on the Jeep, not on the rest of the picture. I took out some of the annoying posts and things that were cluttering up the background,
Mhm.
and I cropped out a window to the left to simplify the background a little bit. I kind of like the lights that came off the roof. I left them on.
Oh yeah.
I felt that they added a little bit of interest up to that area. You've got the sign, which is interesting. And then I mostly processed this in, let's see, what is it? Studio 2,
Uh-huh.
Topaz Studio 2.
Mm.
I kind of wanted to really make the Jeep pop and really draw your attention, and then let your eye wander through the rest of it, because there's some really interesting things. And I took out, there was a pole that went from that kind of stone cropping there. It's like a pillar. There was a pole straight up out of that. It must have been like a light pole or something. And when I took it out, I used Photoshop, and it created the most interesting thing on the post. The post that is just to the right of the mirror there, the on the yeah, that whole configuration did not exist. That's where the post was, and it added a chair to the porch.
Oh.
And I went in and I took a little bit of the configuration off, because there's a funky little face up in the eaves, and it reproduced that twice. So I took that out with the clone tool, and then but other than that, I was kind of delighted with how it handled that post, because the post was a very strong element, and it just didn't feel good to me.
Did you upgrade to the latest Photoshop?
Yes.
I noticed yesterday when I was just cleaning and dust busting an image that if you look up on top, it now clones with content aware fill.
That what does?
The clone brush uses content aware fill now.
Oh,
You got that. Yeah, I was getting some weird things that I didn't like, but I guess this one worked for you.
this one really worked for me because it took that post and made it so much more interesting. And what it was doing is cloning part of that back of that mirror.
Oh yeah, there you go. I see it now.
Because it took that color, but the shape was entirely different.
Well, it actually took the shape too. You can see it right here.
A little bit, but it was kind of more rugged
Yeah, yeah,
and not as precise.
yeah.
Yeah, I got a kick out of that. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then the one thing I wanted to ask you is behind the back window
Mhm.
of the Jeep is much lighter than the rest. Should I darken that?
Yeah, you could darken it and even make it, tint it like a green or a blue like they used to do in the.
Oh, for the windshield itself had a tint.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll
Just
try that.
And then some of the incidental light maybe can come with a very low opacity and just tickle some of that in. That might be fun.
That's a good idea. After I got it done, I thought that, and I was running out of time.
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't get it too saturated, but yeah, I would bring it down and then maybe just put a little hint of some tint in there. Could
I
be
like
fun.
that.
Since it's got the green on it already, maybe I'd go with a green tint rather than a blue.
I was thinking the green, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking at that and wondering if you did anything to make that tin roof more prominent and all, if it might start competing with the Jeep itself, where now it kind of fades into the background visually. And
Mm.
I guess I saw that and I just thought it looked fine. Anyway,
I think I use a HDR effect in Studio 2.
Mhm. Yeah. The other thing might be to take these headlights up just a little bit and.
Okay.
eliminate
Oh, yeah, because you kind of lose the lower ones.
Yeah, especially these lower guys, but maybe just a little bit in these. Maybe just like a donut or something.
Good idea.
Nice image, though.
Thank you.
Yeah. Check out the next one.
I'm just all over the place today, as you can see. I pulled stuff from here, there, and everywhere. This I took in New Mexico at a ranch, and it always made me smile to see the riders. I was taking photographs of the windmill, and unfortunately, in this one, I cut the top of the windmill off getting the riders.
Yeah.
I cropped it. I did some gradation on the left side to make that a little bit darker to kind of match the windmill, the light on the windmill. And originally the grass was pretty yellow green. And to me, it was like almost fighting with the blue on the windmill. And I went in and I used one of the topaz filters, and I think it was pointillist.
Oh, okay.
And I'd never used that before. And I liked how it handled the horses. You could still definitely see that they were horses, and you could tell people were on them. And I liked how it handled the windmill as well. And the background, it kind of faded the background out a little bit, which I liked as well.
Yeah. One thing when you're using some of the paint effects in Topaz is it defaults to a white background. So that's why.
What? Can you say that again?
Defaults to a white.
Yeah.
That's why you get these little guys here. Now you
Right.
get down to the bottom of that tab, where you've got all the different sliders, and you can either change the color or say use image, and then it'll get rid of all that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought about going in and cleaning it all up, but it's done. I thought it did that on purpose to give you the idea that it was a painting.
Yeah, it does. It does. So like, maybe it didn't cover the canvas all the way. It's kind of, it's given. But I find a lot of times it just looks like this. It gets a little annoying. So I suppose
I
there's
agree.
areas where, subtly it makes sense, like in here. But, some of these bigger ones, you could probably just take a healing brush at this point. I wouldn't go back to topaz and just knock those out.
Sure.
Down here, that would take care of it.
Yeah, I agree. They are annoying.
Nice. All right.
And then this was a Mexican bird of paradise blooming in my yard, and behind it were the blue agaves.
Mhm.
Nice.
And so I played around with the color in Studio 2, and I amped up the reds and the purples. Then I went into the filters and I used Van Gogh.
Huh?
And I just liked how it treated the colors. I
Yeah.
particularly like this one. I had taken a ton of them because I like the way the bird of paradise was going a little bit to the right and the agaves were going to the left.
Mhm.
And it kind of just made an interesting composition.
Yeah.
And then at the top of the bird of paradise, it starts going left.
Hmm.
I thought that was kind of
Oh,
interesting.
yeah.
Wispy is here too. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And then your complementary colors work out nice too.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thanks. All right. Let's see who's here now. Did Paula get here yet? I don't think so. Maybe something happened. All right. Well, let's go down to Wendell. Leave Paula.
Okay.
Comes, she comes. That will save it for next week. Okay.
This, I'm jumping around too, like Maureen. This is at the, well, I guess the former Green Valley Hospital. Our black and white group took a small field trip down there one afternoon, and they let us into the inside the hospital and around the outside to take pictures.
Oh,
Anyways, is their main staircase, and I just like the shape of it. It doesn't have any other subject except the stairs themselves. But I did play around with it just in Photoshop. And the trickiest thing was the top right corner. The sun was coming in those windows and it was just totally burned out, pure white. So I used something I learned from Sandy, is I made a selection on various surfaces in those windows, and just took a brush and selected a color and painted it in. I used that polygon selection tool in Photoshop and just sort of defined the panels and then filled them in with color. And that made it a whole lot better. And then the window itself, I put a little faint blue color in there for the sky. And that simple thing made quite a difference in the overall photograph. So,
Yeah, I can imagine. That looks great.
Yeah.
I guess the only other thing you could have done was maybe do a bracket and then do a blend with like HDR or something. But yeah, a lot of times you don't realize it's after the fact and
Mhm.
get creative. Nice. It's good.
Yeah.
So-
It's a nice building, that's for sure, yeah.
yes, it is. Fortunately, my only trip there has been is to take pictures, but too bad it's closed.
So is it permanently closed now? I know the
Oh.
the outbuildings where the professionals are open, but
Yeah, that's what I understand. I haven't heard anything more.
Yeah,
But it's
I think it's closed, yeah.
'cause last time I was down there, which is, well, it's
Has
been a while.
anybody heard if there's somebody else gonna go in there?
I'm sure
No,
somebody will go in because it's too nice a facility to not.
yeah, the Tucson Medical Center, I believe it was considering buying it, but then backed out of that.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
problem is the demographics down here, the population in the summer's so low, and now you've got Northwest up at up a little north of here,
Yeah.
it's not due all mine, it's a Sarawita Road, right?
Yeah, right at the shopping center.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's gonna be a tough one unless they just do maybe specialties.
Yeah,
Like my brother's an anesthesiologist in Chicago, and I know the group he works for bought an old hospital out in the suburbs, and they just do hip and knee replacements there. Something like that would be cool,
oh,
especially with our age group. So something like that would probably lend itself really well, and they could do a lot of them because I imagine they've got a
Yeah.
few operating rooms and they've got plenty of recovery areas,
yeah,
those patient rooms. So,
yeah.
and then they do the rehab as well. So that would be a good thought. And I think there's already a guy there doing some stuff. I can't remember. I think there's an osteopath there. But yeah, that would be a nice way to go. Anyway, nice staircase and good solution up there.
Yeah, I'm happy the way I was able to save that area.
Good. All right, let's take a look at the next one.
Okay, we'll jump out to Gammons Gulch. And this is an old hotel building that did the basic cropping and some touch up in Photoshop. And one of the things I did is that Grand Hotel sign up at the top middle of the building there was pretty small, so I just did a selection of it and then pasted it in and enlarged it. Did a little bit of fussing with the greenish roof edge there next to it. And then most of the effect was in Topaz, the oil painting filter. And that gave it a little nicer look. And being midday lighting, why the original wasn't that exciting, but I think the oil painting gave it a little more rich color than the original. So that's
Fairly grainy shot to begin with, or did that paint effect bring up the grain in the sky?
like the green railings were all pretty much that a little lighter, bit more faded looking. The sky is pretty much the way it was. I didn't do a replacement or
We got
anything.
a lot of texture in the sky.
Oh,
It
yeah,
doesn't look like film noise, or it might be subtle film noise that got edged up from the effect, but I like it.
yeah,
In this case, most of the time we fight to keep the grain away, but I actually like what it's doing on this one.
yeah. I think that did come from the Topaz filter. But
Okay, cool. Anybody had any comments on this one? What do you think about this guy here? I almost didn't see him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was visible. When I did the oil painting, he disappeared almost completely. I
Yeah.
could have taken his shirt sleeve out, I guess.
Well, I wonder if maybe you ought to just bring his face and his sleeve up just subtly,
Well,
either that or get rid of him. So if he's there, make him a little more visible, but not much. I mean, I like the subtlety that he's back there, and you have to really catch it. You don't really see it at first.
yeah,
The other thing is maybe get rid of this paint can so it looks a little more of
Yeah.
the time period, because that paint can's a little
oh,
modern.
yeah,
Yeah, nice. Okay.
okay. Now, these are Day of the Dead from 2015, but since we're hearing about it, I dug back into the files I had on that, and I'd never done anything with this particular one. But the tricky part of this was when I took the picture, I cut off the head of the bird, the blackbird that's sitting on her shoulder, which I'm assuming it's a stuffed bird, not a live one. I don't remember from when I took it, but anyway, I'd cut off half the head, so I had to use Photoshop to expand to the right. And then I just using the clone brush, I created the bill and part of the bird's head to
Oh, well done.
finish out the picture. And so
Good
And
job.
anyway, it's kind of just a funny thing, a cell phone and then somebody in a costume and then a blackbird sitting on the shoulder. And then the background, I used selection to totally blur that even worse. It was just trees and sky back there.
Yeah. We've got a few telltale signs of your clone here and maybe here. I would just blur or use a healing brush on those, and then maybe just blur this edge here and here a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got this strange lightness coming through here, and I'm thinking
Oh,
that
yeah.
maybe that this didn't come through. So I suppose you could probably just borrow a little of this and lightly paint it in. And I think
Yeah.
or you could clone it depending on if you want to get this texture in here or not. I don't think I'd use this dark stuff because I think it's
Yeah.
yeah, you
Need
can never get separation. Maybe a color like this here.
Yeah.
Get down.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, well, along the right side, I used about every tool that Photoshop has for blurring and smudging, cloning. But yeah, I might have done something a little different around the beak there. But anyway,
No, it's 99% there. It looks really good.
Yeah.
And be a real pain in the butt. So you did a nice job with that.
Mhm.
All right, excellent.
okay, this is again the 2015 Day of the Dead, and this one is start out in Photoshop with the usual touch up and cropping, and then I used Topaz Cosmic Realignment, and applied that, and then I used their filter Oily Hands, did that on it, and the combination produced that weird orangish color up in the left corner and darkened everything. But I kind of liked the kind of mysterious, brooding look of the background, and
Yeah.
brought her face, I kept her face bright, and some of the light marks on there came from the Cosmic Realignment filter. And I,
Probably a texture in there that's doing that. It's
yeah,
overlay or lighten or some blend mode that's lightening this up.
yeah,
In the future, if that bothers you, you can go in and just selectively mask that out in that texture
hmm,
in the node itself. So like, let's see, let's just grab this and try opening it. Will it do that? I don't know. All right, let me do it the other way. Is this it? Cosmic Realign? Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Now let's see if it'll drag and drop from here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, so we got it. So rather than doing a whole look, I'm just gonna go get a texture layer, which is down here. Boy, I haven't been in this program in a while. Okay. So see, we, yeah, that's one, or you can pick a whole bunch of them. So let's see. So up here, you've got your mask,
Okay.
that particular effect. So say you were gonna. Now, the other thing you do is switch it to background, but a lot of times it doesn't matter. Well, let's say it was darkening things down like that. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's like that.
Oh.
Or doing some rude things to the face. And so again, if you get these looks, you go through them and see what they do. Like here, let's just grab something. Like here, colored pencil. Let's just apply that and then see what's in there. So you get this folder. Oh, it just has impression. But sometimes it'll have a texture with it too. And you can go and turn each one of these on and off and see what they do.
Oh,
This, I'm just going to can that one, but again, here's your mask. So you grab the mask, you get yourself a brush. You pick your radius, and if you want edge aware, generally I turn that off to get the mask part of the mask down. And then when I want to do the edges, I'll turn it on again. It just makes it easier to paint. And I'm just going to make a pretty good size brush here. So black's going to get rid of it. So if we just go in this area here. Okay, there you go. And then
oh,
turn the edge on. Yeah, then you can go in there and just spice up that edge a little better. You get the edge detail itself. I guess in this case, I probably could have done both at the same time. My problem though is sometimes it would pick these edges and not do the eyes or something else that you want to cover up. So that's why I usually turn it off first. And if you look over here, I'm still seeing a spot where I missed.
yeah.
It's a little gray, and I'd rather have it black. So again, I'll turn this edge aware off, and I'll just go over there. It looks like it's about here. Just go down. Yeah. There. Now it's gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you got to keep an eye on that too. And then, so on this thing, you could have just made a smaller brush, just brought this down,
Mhm.
and say we want to do something here, get that way, maybe let it bleed into some of them.
Okay.
You can go back to white if you want to bring some back, maybe around like that. Maybe you might want to bring some on her chin, darken it up a little bit, a little into the cheeks. Yeah. So you can play with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole area I had never found. And
There's so much stuff, every time you go in there, you find something else. Now, the other thing you can do is, you can go in between if you don't want it to go on or off, just like a Photoshop. Use like a middle gray, then you're not taking as much back.
oh,
So you've got that ability too. So maybe down here we want to, just bring a little bit of her shoulder in her.
okay.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
I'm with Wendell. I didn't know that was an option. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
That opens up a lot more possibilities because I tried some of those textures and they're just too much. There's
Yeah.
parts of them I like, but they're just overall too much.
Yeah. Yeah, real specific. Let's say we want to add another one here. And I don't know. Let's find something here. So this is kind of wacky. Let's see what that is. Oh, that's the one you were using, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe we just want this area to go across her face. So
Yeah.
so on that one, if to save some painting time, you'd start with your mask and these three little dots here.
Yeah.
You can go down and invert it.
Hmm.
So now it's not doing anything. Now you get your brush and you're going to want to paint with white. So you move it over all the way and just come across here. You can add whatever you want.
Wow. I like that white on there. It gives her a really ghostly kind of effect.
More of that.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Well,
yeah.
What an amazing program, eh?
It
yeah.
is. It is. Yeah, you got a lot more stuff to play with there. Start using masks, it's just
Yeah.
like layers in Photoshop and masks, so it
Yeah.
just up a whole new world for you. So,
No,
Yeah.
I'll never get anything done.
okay, let's go a step further. You can, okay, let's find something. I don't know. Let's see here. Here, let's apply that one. All right.
Oh,
Maybe,
I like that.
maybe you only want it here. Well, heck, you can just go up to the folder for that whole group of stuff and open that mask, okay? And then take it and invert it. And just paint what you want in. Pick a brush. And make it white. So you can do the whole effect, That's another option. And again, you can either bring it in all the way, or you can be subtle with it by using, a different transparency level, which is basically just levels of gray.
Mhm.
So like 0.5 is middle gray. So it's a little more subtle. There you
Okay,
go. Okay, so
thank you.
you're welcome. So mask your friends. You can do it on a whole effect, or you can do it individually on any one of these tools or filters or
Fine. Wow.
whatever you want. Another rabbit hole to get lost in.
Mhm.
Okay, let's go over here. Nice sundial.
Okay, this is in Colorado Springs, Colorado. It's the facade of a former manufacturing building for a Van Brigel pottery company that made a lot of ceramic tiles and things for fireplace surrounds, or they made pots and things like that too. But anyway, the side of the brick building had this big sundial on it. And I thought that was kind of neat. So this was actually converted from a slide that I took many years ago. And I actually went into Topaz and started using some of their basic editing tools instead of starting with Photoshop like I normally do.
Mhm.
But this is pretty straightforward. I did use their basic correction filter because I liked the way it treated the bricks. Some of the other filters didn't do as well. And this is better than what the original scan slide had. So anyway, I took baby steps into the Topaz special treatments, I guess, but now I got a whole long task ahead of me to look into the others.
Yeah, and again, you can use, masking with those too. So say you just wanted to do the bricks and not do the
Yeah,
base here or the rooster, you could just
Yeah.
mask in there and do it. And then you could go open another one, and do it again just on this area. You can open up several of them just like you can on Neo.
Yeah.
The tools are nice. Topaz has a lot of nice editing tools as well. You probably remember from the past, I used to use precision contrast and precision detail a lot.
Mhm.
You can be very selective with those too, with using mask. So it's helpful. The other thing you can do is, those three little dots I showed you to invert the mask.
Mhm.
There's a copy mask there as well. So if you didn't want to redraw the mask for another tool, you just copy it and then paste it in. And it's already done for you. You don't have to redraw it every time,
Oh,
which is kind of cool.
yeah.
So that's another thing I probably should have showed you while I was in there. All righty. Yeah, that's nice. I love the perspective and the color.
Yeah, the sky is pretty much straight from the slide. I don't think I enhanced it.
I don't know if it's me or it seems that the old slide film got really rich blues compared to the digital shots we get now. Especially like
Yeah.
the chromes and the Velvetas, well, some of the Octochrome as well.
Yeah, this probably was Ectochrome 200, as I mentioned once before. That's about all I used toward the end, but yeah, it might do blues better than, seemed like Kodachrome did reds nicely,
Oh, reds and oranges, yeah.
but anyway, of course, it was clear sky up there at 7,000 feet, so.
Yeah.
I'll have to look for this building. My daughter's just north of there in Monument, so next time I go up that way, I'll check this out.
Yeah, yeah, that's in Memorial. It's not Memorial Park. It's a park right near the downtown area, right off Nevada.
Oh, okay.
To the, let's see, it'd be to the west of Nevada, I think.
Mhm.
Is what I'm remembering from 15 years ago or so.
Surprised you remembered Nevada, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Monument Valley Park, I think it is. I believe it's where this old Van Briegel factory is
Yeah,
located.
if I send it to my daughter, she'll probably know where it is. Tell her,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll borrow it and email it to her, just to find out where it is. That's great. Thanks.
Probably been to their current location down on Highway 24, going up to.
Oh, up the back way, yeah, the Breckenridge and all that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anyway,
Nice, real nice.
thank you.
All right, let's go up to Alan.
Oh, this is just the full moon from the other night there, the eclipse. And this is it just rising up just above the haze in the mountains. So I think I checked this, it was about 5:30, I think, at night or thereabouts.
Mhm.
Oh, it's just, I just liked the way it was glowing, just kind of
Mhm.
floating there. So it's just simple. Actually, I reprocessed this earlier on today, and I had a more bluey sky to it, and it looked, I think it looked probably better, and the moon was actually white. So I think the one I did this morning was probably liked better than this one.
You want to upload it while we're talking?
Sorry, we can just.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say I could show it. No problem.
Oh, I'll maybe do it when you're going through the rest of them if you want. But
Yeah, and just remind me that it's up. Yeah, that's nice.
I just like the subtlety of it. So that's
Very subtle.
You can see why they call it a cheese moon, because it looks just like a big wheel, half a wheel of cheese. It really does. I've never seen that before in it. And it's probably the color, but
the color. Yeah.
pretty
Like
cool.
those big wheels of Parmesan. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, the
Yeah.
colors work out pretty well. I like the pinks you got here,
Yeah.
reflecting back from the sunset.
Now, is this when it's going through the actual phases of the
No,
eclipse?
this was it rising, so
Oh, okay.
that occurred much later. So
So you said there's mountains
there's mountains just kind of right below there. Yeah,
below it. Okay.
I
And
was-
that's what's cutting it off.
yeah. I was actually no, it's the kind of haze that's cutting it off. But
Oh, okay.
I was looking for it because it should have risen, and it just wasn't to be seen. And then all of a sudden, there it was. So
Yeah, I went through the same thing. I actually went over off Sarawita Road and I thought I'd get a nice one of it coming up off the
Yeah.
edge of the earth, kind of where
Edge.
the mountains were, instead of waiting until it got above the mountains. And it wasn't there. And I'm looking and looking, using photo pills, and it's like, it's up. Where is it? And then finally I just saw a little glimpse of it, and it wasn't even worth shooting at that point. So, so
yeah.
waited a bit.
Oh, a little bit different from what you would normally see, I guess. So.
Yeah, I've got another variation I can show you later. Actually, I included, but yeah, the different layers of fog and clouds were quite amazing.
And then it disappeared again. So it came up. I got a full shot of the whole moon, and it was pretty clear. And then 5 minutes later, it was behind another band of clouds. So
Yeah, I missed that too. I just kind of got it in the fog.
Yeah.
But then the actual eclipse was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was much later. That was like about 4 a.m. All right, let's look at this next one. Oh, kind of cute.
Yeah, this is a little thing down in the two-back, one of the sculptures down here. So
Let me open this up a little bit. There we go.
I just pumped up some of the colors and that's kind of background on it as a topaz background to make it a little bit more interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What did you do to the background?
It's one of the topaz background.
okay.
I'm not sure which one it is. I never write it down.
I know.
I get lost in it and I keep on going and I say, oh, I like that, and accept it, and it's already gone, right? So
Yeah, I hear you. I do the same.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I
really.
love the reflections. It really gives you a sense of the roundness of the sculpture.
yeah.
And the subtle painterly effect that got in here. It's very nice. Yeah. And you had enough realistic stuff that it didn't inhibit.
Yeah.
Now, did you pull those back through or?
No, I didn't. No.
Didn't
No.
affect it. That's another thing you can use your masks for, if it
Take it out. Yeah.
got all fuzzed out, you could just go with your mask and take the effect off of those. So yeah, those masking tools are worth checking out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Good
so
one.
while we were down at the Day of the Dead as well on Sunday, on the Sunday evening, and we were walking along with the procession there. So I put 3 of them. I've got 3 photos in there from it. I kind of like this one because of that little kind of starburst up on the left-hand side. The guy's kind of looking at it. So.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I would maybe open his eyes up just a little bit.
Brighten up his eyes. Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe the face too, but it's in the shadow. So, but I think you can.
It was very tough to take photos, to be honest with you, because it was, they were all moving, of course, and then you've got a really low shutter speed and a high ISO, and it was not easy to get sharp photos because it was all the movement that was going on.
Yeah. Worked out okay though. Yeah, I can see your grain in there. Maybe if we got some time, I can show you, put it in the photo AI and show you guys what that might do with it.
Yeah. Now this next one, you'll get a laugh at this next one, because I think that's the same girl that was in your photo earlier, or it looks very similar to her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wendell, doesn't that look like the photo that you had from 2015?
2015, yes. Yeah, that looks like the fake flowers are still the same.
It works.
It was really just amazing, amazing makeup, to say the least. Yeah. And I'd always wanted to do this because it was kind of unique for me anyway. It's very unusual to get photos like people all made up like this. So
Yeah, I'd love someday to either get down to Mexico or somewhere in the Latin American countries where they actually go to the cemeteries and do it.
yeah.
That would be really interesting. I don't
You
know
should connect very good. Yeah.
how, or if they'd appreciate you shooting in the cemeteries. A lot of times those are off limits.
Yeah.
Find out beforehand. That's nice.
And this next one, I just liked the way he was posing.
Neat.
I'm not all that keen on the wire fence, to be honest with you. maybe thinking of trying to change that, but I like the way he was posing and the light coming off the cell phone onto his face. It was,
Mhm.
Mhm.
yeah.
I like the way his elbow was leaning into it and kind of, bending it too.
Mhm.
Alan, what was your ISO?
Oh, it was probably about 8,000.
8,000, okay.
The speed was probably down about 30th of a second. That was pitch black, right? So it's
Yeah. Yeah, just hope you can catch an edge to get sharp. Yeah, it's amazing with the stabilizers that they have in these cameras and lenses now that you can shoot really low and get
a
moving.
five axis stabilizer in this camera, and it's you'd never be able to do this a 30th of a second, and then trying to follow somebody as well. So
Mhm.
Back when I was really young, I could hold about an eighth of a second, but not with a moving object. If I shoot something still in light, I could do it.
Yeah.
but-
yeah. I just loved this guy's pose. He didn't, I mean, it was like it was nothing else was going on. He was just kind of hanging out there.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
almost like the Grim Reaper waiting for you to get home.
Yeah.
Yeah, upload that other one, and then if we got some time,
All right. I'll try and find it.
Yeah, I'll grab this one, and we can see what denoise of some kind will do. Let's get to Jim Bowman next. Okay.
Yeah, this is again Mexico, and looking at the marketplace. So these are more or less, all of them are kind of street photography, I guess you'd call it. And kind of caught them just hopefully at the moment, at just the right moment.
Nice colorful image.
Wow. Yeah,
she's-
the arm of the lady to the left side gives a reason for the main person in the photo to be looking the direction she is. I think that, to me, that is good to have that arm there rather than having it cropped off,
Right.
like they're talking to each other while they're working.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's making a taco. Maybe she's making a taco for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe taking that shirt or maybe even the whole person there down a bit, just so.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Other than
think
that,
I'd take your whites down a little bit. They're kind of blown out.
mhm. Yeah, you could probably start with just pull the highlights down and see if you can pick up any more detail. And then if you want to push some white back in to compensate, you can. But yeah, just pulling the highlights down somewhere might be enough to get a little more detail going here.
Mhm.
Yeah. Good suggestion.
I like the lace on her top, and it'd be cool to see more detail in that.
Mhm.
Nice.
Okay,
Tells a story.
definitely.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
So this is the Copper Canyon again. I showed you last week a couple of young men that were kind of looking over into the canyon from a. So this is what they were looking at.
Oh, nice. A beautiful formation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the sun coming over the mountain there, and had a little bit of trouble because of mismatch in color temperatures. You have any suggestions that any of you?
Yeah, just a little gray here. You might pick up some of the cyan.
Did I lose you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Looks like you kind of blipped there for a second. Maybe you just dropped and picked up again. Yeah. What do you guys think of maybe cooling this off a little bit? This gray.
Yeah.
That might work. You know, in Lightroom or Camera Raw, you could just select the sky and play with that.
Uh-huh.
You can take a quick look.
That waterfall is from the top to the bottom is 1,000 feet.
Whoa.
Oh,
Okay, let's take a quick peek here. So we're going to go to our local masking. I'm going to select sky. Now, if you guys haven't been in here in a while, there's a lot of updates in this. You know, you've got object selection now. You've got subject, sky, and background. You've got people.
people, yeah.
Yeah. And then the people, it'll do the eyes, the lips, the face, the hair. You know, you can output them all as separate. So it's kind of neat. All right, so let's look at the sky. Well, that was pretty quick. Okay, well, it looks like I've missed a little over here. We can work on that, and maybe we'll leave that in or take it out. We'll see. So, right, the first thing we might want to do is go down to color temperature here and just cool it off a little bit. And maybe we might make a little greener. I don't know. We could go magenta and kind of make it purple. I guess it's your creative prerogative here, Jim, which way you want to go. And then you counteract a little bit with some white, maybe brighten it up a little bit. And let's see what happens with the shadows. I guess, you know, highlights, you can get a little more detail with that. I would compensate with the white so it doesn't look so ominous there. You know, something like that. Now it's getting a little blown out up here. So what I would do is I would go to subtract, because you want to take that effect away, and I want to do it with a brush, but I don't want to take it all away. So what I'm going to take my flow rate down, maybe to about 30–40%. You can also just hit your 3 key and get there. And then I'll just make it a little bigger and just kind of click it in. There you go. That's a little better. So that's where we're at. And I don't know if having it on the mountains is an issue or not. We could check it out by keeping auto mask on here, and we'll just kind of come across through here and take it out a little bit. We're still at what, 30%? Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Now let's see if it, I don't know if it got over here or not. We'll just turn it off and look at that corner. Yeah, it looks like it did. Okay. Yeah. If you want to make it more ominous, you know, you just darken it, just take your highlights down a bit and maybe exposure down a little bit. It can get scary, but I don't know. It's more of a brighter day. Yeah. Maybe take some of the black out of there. There you go. Oh, you could also play with saturation, see if, yeah, that's a little too much. Maybe just kick it up a little bit. So that might be enough to do it. That's before, that's after. Because that sky's a little too warm, I think. And that gives you the warm, cool contrast that you want. What do you guys think? Does that work?
Yeah, that's fine.
I gotta cancel first. Okay. Alrighty.
So this is again back up to the Copper Canyon and kind of a lady that was selling a pot up there.
Hmm.
I bought that pot.
That's pretty cool.
The price of a photograph, huh?
Right.
My
No, it
first-
was really a really kind of stunning looking pot, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
It's beautiful.
yeah.
I'm assuming she had made it, eh?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you guys think this needs?
But you need to straighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see a little more of her face.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dropping out a little bit. And this stuff is,
Mhm.
A little bit.
Just a little.
and this is fading out a little bit too. And I think it's competing, especially since the face is so dark. So you,
Mm.
I'd like to bounce between here and here. So,
Ah,
yeah, so let's see if we can do this. Turn camera on. And again, we just get our little local. Well, let's see if it picks out a person. Let's see if we can find
it
it.
does pretty good. I tried it.
Yeah. People. There she is. So that's the whole person. So you
Mhm.
click on that. Now you've got all these different things if you want. So here's a face.
Wow.
Okay.
There's the body skin, which I guess is just her neck. Eyebrows. Yeah. The whites of her eyes, the sclera. The iris and pupils.
Wow.
And the lips. So say maybe we just wanted the face, the sclera and the irises. Maybe the lips too. So you could just create and it would put all that together like that, or you come down here and see it makes 4 separate masks. Check that.
Hmm.
And it makes them all at once, which is very cool.
Yes.
Mhm.
Pick the lips first. I would probably go and do the face first, see where we're at with that. So let's just try bringing some white in there and see what happens. No, we need to open up the shadows. So yeah,
Yep.
and we want to just take a little black down so it doesn't get that kind of washed out black effect. And maybe we take the highlights down a little bit to balance it. You see on the left side how the highlights affect. Bring it
Mhm.
down a bit. Do that, and then you can take the whites up overall. Not to blow the face too much. The other thing you can play with is instead of adding contrast, you can subtract contrast.
Mhm.
Oh, that did it. Nice.
Yeah, that was the key right there.
Mhm.
That opens the face up. There we go.
You can see her eyes now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now I would go to the eyes. Let's just do the sclera first. And on that, we just may want to see what the whites do. There's not much there. I guess we're gonna have to go to the pupils too. Where are you? Oops, pupils. Okay. So you can
Yeah.
if you just
Oh.
she's possessed. Gotta be real careful with that. You don't want to put too much in there. Yeah, so we kind of just sometimes clarity will do a little bit for it. Where are you, clarity? There we are. The other thing that's new is they've added curves. If you guys use curves, you can
Mm.
those. So it's kind of like doing curves with masks in Photoshop. You've got it right here. You don't have to go to Photoshop to do it, and you still got all the other stuff. So a lot of nice toys. So I guess if we went back to the face skin and went to the curves, it's also got the little target thing. So if you click on that and just went in an area that you wanted,
Uh-huh.
well, you could just, that's a new tool. It actually, that's a
Mhm.
Pretty
slide.
interesting. Yeah.
I don't like the fact that it goes over the eyes, but I guess once you start to move it works okay. So there's that, and maybe we want to hold or add, yeah, I would hold that right about there. So basically it works from left to right. Your deepest shadows are here, the hottest whites are here. This histogram showing you where the bulk of the tones are in the image. So if you wanted to kind of just pull the whole thing up, you do that, but you don't want it to get too milky. So let's say we got it up there and then we just come back down here and counterbalance the blacks a little bit by bringing those down. And we can do the same over here. There you go.
Oh, but-
Nice.
yeah.
So that
Yeah, that,
takes it
yeah, that does the trick.
direction, yeah. Now maybe you might want to just open it up a little bit more, some white overall. Now that we're a little more balanced, and now that I'm looking at it, maybe I might come back on the contrast just a little bit. There you go. It's just kind of a dance between the different effects, sliders to get where you want to be. And then on this shawl, you could just create another mask. And I could just do it with a brush. And basically, I'm always looking for, yeah, here's the auto mask. They got it way down here. So I would turn that off again and just kind of, let me see here. Yeah, my flow's down. If you don't see a real bright red when you paint, that means your flow's way down. There, that's better. So I'm just kind of going
Yeah, there you go.
near the edge, and then I'm going to turn auto mask on. Now I'm going to do that. Or you know what? What's even easier, which I find helpful, is I'll leave auto mask off and I'll just paint and have it fall off the edges, okay? Just kind of like painting outside the lines here. You can see it's bleeding over. And then if I hold down my option key or alt on a PC, you get that negative, which means subtract. And then you turn the auto mask on. And adjusting the flow adjusts the edge. You can see if you put it way up, you see how, well, it's kind of hard to see here, but the difference between, there you go. See the outer circle and the inner circle there?
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's the feather. So if you turn it way down, it's very little bit of feathering. If you turn it off completely, it's just very hard brush. So that's what feather is in this particular case. And then your flow is, affects how quickly it reacts. So with the auto mask on, I'll just come back here and just keep the center out in the background area
right.
and let it bleed over. And as long as that center doesn't touch the shawl, it's going to take it off of everything that you put your center over. So that's just a quick way to do it. So basically overpaint without the auto mask and then come back and take it off with it. You got a nice edge. And now we've done that, we can go to highlight, keep the highlights way down. Maybe even take the lights down a little bit. Yeah, a little contrast. Maybe add some color to it. It's a saturation. Okay. Now, there's another thing here. You see this amount tool slider?
Uh-huh.
You can slide that and give it more. So if you got everything where you want it, you just want to tweak the whole thing, you go up to this amount. You can give it less or you give it more. Than the middle's like right here is 100 is the middle. So you can go up to 200 or you can go down to nothing. So that's an option that most people miss. Yeah, I think somewhere in there that kind of works. So you want to tone this down a little bit because now I think her eyes going here rather than to her.
Yeah.
So that would be another mask. Okay, let's create a new one, do brush again. Again, I would just, well, it doesn't seem like 100%. Oh, density's down. There we go. All right, that's the red you should be seeing. Or in this case, let's change it to something, since there's so much red in here, like blue. There we go. Now we can see it. All right. And again, if you hold down the option key for the old key on a PC, you can get your nice edge again. Yeah, let's put a little of that back. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's the way I shot it there.
Mhm. Now it's getting a little gray and dingy there. So again, that trick is to lower the color temperature. So I would put a little warmth in there and a little bit of magenta.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Now it's going to brighten it up a bit. So then at that point, you might want to pull the lights down just a little bit. There you go. So that keeps everything a little more subtle. And then I would either straighten the image out or get rid of this. There is a new content or wire erase. I'm not sure.
It was built, that Windows frame was built crooked.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but if you wanted to get rid of it, let's see, there it is, but I don't see where it gives you the. Yeah, this is different than what I get in Lightroom. I don't know if it's because this is on. Let's go back here. Oh, I know why. We got to go to the Band-Aid tool. That was an erase tool. Okay, so if we go here, it should still give you. Oh, here it is. It's healing. Can we change it? No, that's weird. That should be content aware fill. All right, let's try it. I don't want that big. Yeah, that's probably enough. Let's see what it does. Not bad. It's got a few spots in there. Let's undo that and go a little further. Give it to me. There we go.
Mm.
I think I liked it better the first time.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Try one more. Should we get it all? Yeah, there we go.
That's very good.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Mhm.
Going into Photoshop less and less, the more they add tools here. At least when I'm working on Lightroom, which Camera Raw is very similar to. So,
Yeah, you can send me that one,
Sure.
Sandy.
Okay.
I can't reproduce that.
That's quite
That was quite a lesson.
I'll make this B. Okay.
Yeah.
And, well, I'll save it on the desktop so I remember to email it to you. Okay. Yeah, thanks for telling me before I deleted it.
Mm-hmm.
I had to redo it. All righty, next.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Same thing, kind of. But I just really like this little girl.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Yeah.
maybe a gradation on the background or something. A little bit. You know, the other thing you can do is combine things. So show you what I mean here real quick. So basically you go to camera raw. Okay, get our local tool again. And I just want to take a gradient here and, you know, something like that. But I'm getting her, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I want to subtract her. So I go to subtract, subtract subject. Boom.
Oh, wow.
How easy was that?
Wow.
Holy cow.
Okay, so then you can take your highlights.
It
down.
seems like it's a bit much, though. I mean, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that better.
There, yeah, that's much better.
Yeah, and then you can go in again with a new mask and select subject rather than doing a people thing. We've already done that. You know, and we will just take the highlights down a little bit and add some white back. Just open her up just very subtly. Let's see what she needs, a little clarity. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like getting clarity on a face like that. So see, here's more to the data here. So let's try that. Yeah, there. That's easier.
Yeah,
Than,
that's good.
that's better than doing
Right.
exposure. Yeah, so let's take exposure back and give it a little more of that. There we go. And you want to get your blacks back, which are here. Well, real black is here, but your 3/4 or quarter tone rather, you can pull that back down again to get that back to dark. I think it's doing it in the face too. Yeah, I wouldn't take it down much. There we go.
You know, I don't like the color of the background now. It's really competing with her.
Mhm.
It's too much yellow.
Yeah, so what do you
It needs to have some gray or something or more neutral. It's
Yeah, there we go.
that's a little too much.
Yeah, the other way, but
Whoa,
it's all right there in that little saturation zone.
that's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much better.
And they can also put
Thank
it
you.
towards the G and cool it off slightly. Yeah. That'd probably be enough. And maybe just make it a hair darker. Yeah, something like that. There we go.
Yeah, nice.
You want this one too, Jim?
Sure, why not?
Well, we're at it. All right. So this is a B as well. Okay. All right. Okay. One more here. Oh, that's
Oh,
fun.
that's cool.
Oh,
True. Well, you
Wow.
saw what I did in the other two, so you can try this one on your own.
Right. I won't make you go through another one.
Yeah, but I think you got the gist. That's a lot of fun. I like that.
Mm.
Yeah, I did do some color correction on the faces and took a little the shadows. The shadow was opened up quite a bit, and so I didn't do anything near what you did, but it was basic stuff.
Mhm.
You might just try darkening the background and get a little more separation.
Uh-huh.
you know, and maybe darkening the foreground so your eye stays up in here. Yep, that'll work. Well, thanks. Those are nice. I'm gonna have to get down to Copper Canyon one of these days. I keep hearing about it. Okay, Jim Murphy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Tucumcacheri shots that I took down there, and there was about a half full moon, and I didn't let my ISO go above 400. I shot either 200 or 400 on the ISO.
Oh.
Extended my shutter time rather than pushing the ISO up, because I just get a lot of bad effects from, you know, running the ISO too high, even, you know, even with denoise. So I think this one was about 400. So it's quite dark. I mean, you know, but a half moon. So I don't know. I don't remember. This, probably about 20 seconds, something like that.
Yeah, nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
They have something coming up on the 21st of December where they're opening it up for shots like this to the
Yeah,
public.
so they have a luminaria, which is similar to this event, except there's going to be a lot more people.
There'll be a lot of
Yeah, a
people.
lot more people.
How
Yeah,
did you-
everybody's going to get in your way. And so
Yeah.
How did you get in there at night, Jim? Was it a special event or was it?
this was a Day of the Dead
Oh,
special
okay.
event, but hardly anybody showed up. There was pretty much nobody there. And you'll see all 5 of my pictures are from this same event. But they put out candles, which is kind of atmospheric. So
Nice.
yeah.
Mark your calendars. We'll get it on the next year. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I've been there for the luminaria. It's just too many people.
Too many people.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, that's lovely.
This is the only one that I used any topaz effects on. All the rest of them are without topaz effects. This is that as you come in the entryway, there's a little to your right, there's a little garden there. And as I was leaving, I saw the light coming through that window and
Beautiful.
did this shot. And I kind of went back and forth on, you know, the plant in the middle. I put quite a bit of sharpening on that, but at the end of the day, I kind of liked it that way. So I went with it.
Mhm.
I don't know, do people think it's too sharp, the plant in the middle, or not?
No, I like it.
Oh. It looks like Cousin It.
Yeah, but you got all the sharp, stark things going on anyway. So yeah, why not? You might want to rotate it just to get that window straight.
Yeah, you know, I didn't really notice that till as soon as you put it up, I know to use that window.
Well, the other way to do it,
Well,
you can do it easily in Photoshop. You just
Yeah.
Here, let's just do it.
Well, some of the other ones you'll see that I did straighten, but this
Yeah.
one I didn't.
So you got some room, but if you break the lock, I just double click on it. So it's a background layer. And I'm going to use Command T to get my transform up here. And if you right click, you can get skew or distort. Let's just try skew. So we're going to just grab this corner. If you hold the shift key down, it'll keep it straight. And just pull it. That's all you need.
Yeah. And in that particular image, it doesn't bother the plants at all.
Oh, you're good to go. So that's all you need to do. And then you don't have to worry about losing parts of it when you rotate and everything else.
Right.
Yep. Okay. All right. Ooh, what do you got? Wow. Neat.
I like that. Yeah.
This is it's an handheld iPhone shot. It's about 3 or 4 seconds, and probably I'm looking at this now. On what I'm seeing now, I'd probably saturate that yellow a little bit more, but yeah, it's just kind of, this is a side entrance to the, to the church there. It doesn't have the, with the iPhone, it doesn't have the detail of my camera.
Mhm.
But I kind of think it works not having the detail because the masonry is kind of smooth anyway, so.
Yeah, you're getting enough texture there. If you didn't know the building, you'd think that was two different shots, just, stacked up. Kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah, you got a little bit of the brick mortar up here. Yeah, I think you got enough detail to bring it across. Very nice.
Yeah, so then the next two, these are also an iPhone shot, and I'm thinking, I can't remember for sure. It doesn't look like it now. I knew I did straighten some of these. This one, you can see it's such a wide angle that it is kind of pinched in at the top.
Sure.
Mhm.
And then I took some shots without people and some with people, and this particular one had a person in it.
Mhm.
So you just again, you really don't get the fine detail, but
I like the glow in the church
Yeah.
in the doorway. That's really pretty.
Yeah, it's funny, when I first looked at this, I thought that they'd filled this, but it's actually the patina on the wall.
Yeah.
It almost looked like a reflection, Very cool.
Oh,
Oh, very nice.
yeah. And one last iPhone shot, and on this particular one, you can see I did straighten this one, otherwise it would be crooked like the last one. And then I went in and sharpened inside the church a little bit to bring back some of the detail of the people in the church and the candles in the church. So again, it's an iPhone shot. I should have, iPhone was, I wasn't even planning on using it. I had it in my pocket, and it was just kind of an afterthought. And I just took some shots with the iPhone. They weren't that bad. So, it was it was a fun event. So, and they'll probably have it again, next year as well too. So, and then next week I went to the procession in Tucson. I'll show my Day of the Dead people shots. I usually don't do too much landscape or building shots, but thought this was an opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's a keeper. I like this one.
Mhm.
Very nice.
Very nice. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
I uploaded that other moonshot. I don't know if you want to.
Okay, let me see here. It is yeah, I think this is it, right? Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's a little more subtle.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You can almost see the moon below I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
I like, yes, you
filling it in.
can. Yeah, I like this one better. The other one, it looked like the moon was floating.
Yeah,
This is really pretty.
yeah. Your eye kind of finishes off the shape too.
Isn't it Sherry that's filling it in, isn't it?
Mhm,
Anyway.
Yeah, it's nice and subtle. I like that.
mhm.
Good. Thanks.
Let's see. I'm down to one person here. Nope, doesn't look like Paula showed up. Okay, I'll keep her stuff for next time. All right, let's see here. I guess I gotta start up later. Show you what I did this past week or so. See if I'm in the right place. Yes. Let me just delete that one out of there. All right. I was on my stretch project. I was over at Sprouts, and they had all these things on sale for 99 cents that I never would have bought when they were $5 or $6 or $10. So I just figured I'd grab a few of them and shoot them. So,
Neat.
They're kind of fun. I did turn some of these into black and white, which will be in your class tomorrow, Wendell.
Uh-huh.
Great detail on this. Did you use your macro lens?
Yeah, it's the 100 macro and focus stacking.
Oh, you did stacking too.
Oh,
Yes, yeah, 7 exposures. Well, I found three was probably enough, but
Oh.
I like to have too much rather than not enough.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And this was
Oh,
a
wow.
really strange looking one. This is like a Buddha hand, I think they call it. Almost looks like a octopus or a squid or something.
Is it a vegetable?
Yes, it's like a citronella type of vegetable.
Hmm.
Got a nice fragrance to it. It's almost floral.
Hmm.
Pam's cooking it today. She's like, "Can I finally cook this thing?" I'll let you know what it tastes like. In fact, it kind of started turning a little brown. I've got another shot that Pam styled and set up.
Oh, I like that.
So it's a little fresher.
Great still life.
With the pomegranate, yeah.
Mhm.
Cool.
And the blue glass just really
Um,
is perfect.
Did you have it on some shiny surface to get the
Yeah,
reflection?
that's on granite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Hmm,
and we
neat.
just put a piece of really dark wood behind it.
Oh, okay.
Whereas this first one, that's just shot on the granite and I let it all go out of focus, but I did darken it down a bit.
Mhm.
So. And then here's my moonshot. And I
Oh,
pushed it a little further and rather than letting it go really subtle. I tried to sharpen it up a bit.
mhm.
Like I posted in Facebook and somebody asked if it was a chocolate chip cookie.
Big one.
Big one. Yes, very big one. Yeah. And then that was the
Hmm.
The blood moon.
yeah. Boy, that was hard to focus on. In hindsight, I think I should have focused before it started and then went to sleep and got back up for the eclipse because when it got to near full eclipse, it was hard to focus on it
Mm.
Absolutely.
because there was so much noise. You know, if you amped up your ISO enough to see anything
Mhm.
with detail, the noise was just dancing around in your
Just
viewfinder.
speckles.
Very hard to focus. They tweaked it in. So advice if you're doing this, focus before it happens.
So you would do manual focus
Oh, I
before.
did manual focus. Yeah, autofocus just couldn't even find it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would do manual focus sometime during the night because obviously the distance isn't going to change enough to worry about. And
Mhm.
tape your focus ring down. So
Yeah,
just,
tape it down is a good tip.
You don't touch it, yeah.
that's what I would do next time.
Mhm.
I've done that, when I shot Milky Ways and things, but I didn't even think about it for this up here now. It's bright moon. I always find a focus, but not so much when it's on an eclipse.
Mhm.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that was my Empire Ranch experience. Now this guy's an interesting guy. I was kind of overhearing him talking and saying, "I'm a cowboy. I've always been a cowboy," and he was a real mellow guy. So we got to talking. It turns out his last name's Olmsted. And so his great uncle was the architect that did Central Park and so forth.
Oh,
Wow.
He's related,
oh,
and his father was an architect too. So that was
Hmm.
kind of
huh.
nice guy. And this guy was out. Area.
Great capture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started shooting it. I didn't have it on, first, so just hit the shutter a lot. Yeah, I managed to catch a good one.
Mhm.
So, clean that house up pretty nice. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good lighting.
Yeah, and this was inside
Mhm.
and
It's nice.
very underexposed when I started with it. But managed to pull it out and then take it into Neo just to get a little more edging on the wall and the door and so forth.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Thanks.
I like the progression of from the right, you got kind of a greenish, and then the brown of the door, and then you get back to kind of a greenish gray
Mhm.
behind the pants.
Yeah, I like the reflective colors here too from the blue
Yeah.
jean.
Mhm.
Well, you just, I mean, looking at that, you just never think there was a photo there, but wow.
Mm.
That's
What caught my eye first was the barbed wire sitting up here.
Yeah,
And then I kind of moved around. And my eyes, I'd come in from outside, which was really bright. My eyes were slowly adjusting, and I saw the barbed wire and the cups and this stuff. And this is where I met this Olmsted guy, and we're talking away. And I didn't even think about changing my exposure, so I was still set up for outside. And I turned around and shot it.
Oh.
It's like,
Mhm.
boom. So yeah, I had to do a
Yeah.
lot on this one. Well, let's see. We're a little over, but I guess I could go back and grab that photo of, was it Jen? Who had the it was Alan, wasn't it? They had, there it is. Yeah.
oh,
The noise shot. Yeah, let's take that into photo AI, the new Topaz that kind of took denoise, sharpen, and gigapixel and put it all in one program. So here it is. It's a little slow on getting the preview up, but you can see it takes care of that noise pretty well.
mhm.
Yeah, when I first tried it, I wasn't all that happy with it, but I'm liking it after a few releases. There's a couple things that still need work, like if you go to refine something, like say part of this subject was missing. If you go to refine, you've got a brush, but if you go to use it, it just kind of does it in little sections.
Mm.
You can't just paint. So if you had a big area to cover, it just picks the tones, kind of like an auto mask.
Hmm.
And like if you want to do this tree, you just be painting away. So I think they need to work on that. But the fact that they have it in there is nice because a lot of times it doesn't touch everything, so you can refine it, and then you just kick done or cancel. So what it does is it figures out what it thinks it needs using this autopilot setting, and looks like it didn't even turn the remove noise on, but it sure did a number on getting rid of it. So that's interesting. I guess it just did it all in this enhanced resolution. So maybe it picked that because it was a JPEG and it thinks you want to go bigger. So here's your upscale. You can make this as large as you want, or you can just plug in, pixel count, like say you want it like 9,000 or 10,000, but you sent one of these multiples, you can just put it in here and it'll take care of it. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Why didn't do sharpen?
Yeah, I turn the sharpen on, see what happens. And that's standard, but see, I'm getting artifacts here. I don't like that. I probably take the strength way down. Start there. Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit better.
Yeah, that's starting to work. And then I don't know, maybe we could play with the clarity a little bit. No, I'm getting the artifacts again. See if I can undo that. Yeah, that's a little better. So then when you're done, you just hit save image and it goes into this queue. Looks like it has export settings up. So it'll put a suffix on there. You can change that if you want. And you can tell it where you want it to go in the format and if you want it zipped or not. So I could say none. You can pick your bit depth. You can go 8 or 16. So we'll leave it 16 and hit save. And it'll start processing. Now, the other thing you can do is just take a bunch of raw images and throw them in here and it'll batch them. And you can do individual settings on each one and then just have it hit save and do, 10, 20, 30 of them at a time, go have some coffee and come back. So that's kind of neat. Well, it looks like we got another update. Maybe they fixed that brush.
They heard you.
Yeah, well, whoops, I guess I should have read it, but yeah, we'll let it do that while we're finishing up here. All right, let me stop sharing and stop recording.
Great.